We've got the updated Mazda CX-30.
I'll translate. South of the border, that's Mazda CX-30. Let's go for a ride. Ooh.
Never disappoints.
Yeah, little crossover, turbo engine, and a big turbo too. What is under the hood of this thing?
A 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine with a 6-speed automatic transmission. With regular fuel, you'll get 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. A power boost comes in with premium fuel. 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, standard all-wheel drive.
CX-30 is also sold with just a regular 2.5-liter four-cylinder with 186 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. For the Canadian market only, there is a 2-liter four-cylinder option on the base trim with 155 horsepower and 150 pound-feet of torque. So 3 power plants in Canada, 2 in the United States. We're going to touch on the base model. What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with an 8.8-inch screen, a 7-inch LCD meter display, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, an 8-speaker audio system, black cloth upholstery, heated front seats, a manual driver and passenger seat, LED headlights and LED taillights, 16-inch dark gray wheels, and a temporary spare tire.
Well, Andrea and I both agree, you really have to drive this car in sport to get the most out of it. But what else can you put it in?
Put it in S for subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure you like, subscribe, most important, hit that notification bell, but also follow on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. For a look behind the scenes, what's coming up on the channel. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto. And the links are below the like button. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
In my opinion, this is hands down the best handling subcompact non-luxury crossover. I think that it is so fun to drive, dynamic, it's agile, the steering feels really great, not too heavy, not too light.
Just right.
Just right. And the suspension, fantastic.
All right. Now, you got to reference this in memory of what the other ones were like. So I just want to bring back maybe another contender, the Taos from Volkswagen, that has a turbo engine as well as standard equipment, by the way.
Yeah.
It has independent rear suspension. This has a torsion beam rear suspension. So is it just your impression or is it memory?
I have such a good memory. I can feel
actually
sitting in the Taos.
Andrea can tell you what we had for dinner on our first date. What did we have for dinner, Andrea?
So I don't know why he's arguing with me. By the way, we went to an Italian restaurant. We had some red wine that I didn't really drink.
I drank it all.
He drank it all. And then we went dancing, and Zach doesn't dance. He doesn't like to dance.
Sucked her in.
But he fooled me on that first date with dancing, never to dance again.
You know the drill, guys.
Anyway, so memory is excellent.
So you
on my
really
part.
think that this is better than the Taos?
Oh, I love this. Now, don't get me wrong. Love the dual clutch transmission in the Taos. Some people feel that it's jerky. I'm a big fan of it, but this, I got in this CX-30 Turbo, and I've been in one many times before, and it just doesn't disappoint. So fun.
See, I think you're confusing handling with the power of the engine, the 6-speed automatic. There's no CVT at play here. The steering, I got to give Mazda credit for. They do a very good job with weighting the steering and good feedback. But it's interesting how they're able to conquer a torsion beam rear suspension in this CX-30, but also the Mazda 3 hatchback it's based on.
This takes corners with ease. I mean,
See, you're confusing the power with the cornering.
No, I'm not. The cornering, you go along a twisty road, it handles so well in and out of city traffic.
All right.
Man, I'm a fan.
All right, we'll put you down as a Mazda fangirl. We've always said you're...
Hey, there are some shortcomings with this CX-30. It's not perfect, but the way that it drives and handles...
It's like me, not perfect.
Oh my gosh. I'm not saying anything,
okay?
Okay,
so I don't dance. I don't dance.
Yeah, he doesn't dance. He lied.
I'll stand at the table and sort of wiggle around a bit. Yeah, I don't get out there.
When we were in Vietnam, I hit the dance floor. Zach,
nope. I videotape the fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the way this thing looks. The color is killer. This is not rental car red.
totally not rental car red. This is an absolutely beautiful color and very popular for Mazda. This comes standard with LED headlights and LED taillights. Our turbo model has the black piano grille, and it has available 18-inch wheels, which we have on our test model.
There's a lot of controversy and a lot of comments, and you're going to write below.
Yeah.
You jump in on this one. So this car has very thick cladding along the bottom of it, and it sits high on its wheels as well. I think they put the cladding there to kind of anchor the look of it, because it really is a jacked up all-wheel drive version of the Mazda 3 hatchback. But you know what? I think it looks okay. It doesn't bother me. A lot of people can't see past it, and it looks really good in different colors. Remember the gray one we had?
Yeah.
It looked good in the gray one, and I think it looks good.
I don't really love the cladding, I gotta tell you. It's extra thick on this CX-30. You know what I'd love to see Mazda do? Come out with a signature model.
And paint it.
Oh, wouldn't that be perfect?
Yeah.
Charge a little more, Mazda.
They're already charging a lot, Trev.
Now, there are some things the CX-30 doesn't do well, and we're going to get into that after questions, coffee, and cars in our hot topic.
What it does do well is offer a premium experience in a non-premium brand, because this is basically the top model, and when you get any, you kind of feel like you're getting your money's worth.
I really like the color combo in here. You've got brown and white and black. There's mostly soft materials. You use very little hard plastic, and I love the traditional shifter. One thing I noticed, we were going in and out of two vehicles. One has the traditional shifter, one had a column shifter, and this is just so natural. I don't even need to look down to shift. I love it.
You know what? A lot of these push button rotary things, they're the answer to the question nobody was asking. This works. It has worked for decades. Stick with what works.
This comes with an 8.8-inch display and a 7-inch LCD meter display. No digital driver display in here, and no touch screen. That's a question for questions, coffee, and cars coming up as well.
You know what I like, though, is the rotary dial. It's very reminiscent, I've mentioned it many times, of the older MMI Audi system.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, you know, you don't have fingerprints and dust on this. Well, you can get dust, but no fingerprints on the screen. You control everything with this. Yeah. I wish when you went into the radio, when you went to tune, it would go from the station that you're actually on. It starts you right back down to the beginning. So if you're on satellite radio and you say you're on channel 28, my favorite, Spectrum, and then I want to tune to something else, it goes back to hits 1. And I hate hits 1.
I love hits 1. You know, I like the poppy tunes. It's just me. Plenty of front row legroom in here, and these seats are comfortable. Mazda put these in the CX-5 and the CX-50, and everyone will be happy. I'd be okay with these on a longer road trip.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable car. I like the seating position. There is no height adjustment here on the passenger side, but I think that it's well positioned.
Now, this top trim has everything we need, including a 360 view monitor. What it doesn't come with is ventilated front seats or heated rear seats. Now, you can add some packages to the lower trims, like the luxury package, to get the moonroof, a power driver seat memory, and then also the side view mirrors are connected with that driver seat memory. In Canada, Mazda added the advanced visibility package to give you some extra features on the GT non-turbo model. There's more color options, including Platinum Quartz Metallic. And the GT models now get a red interior. Also standard all-wheel drive across the board.
In the US, the new Platinum Quartz exterior color is also available, and a carbon edition trim has been added with a Polymetal Grey exterior and red interior. Now, you mentioned the legroom in the front seats.
Yeah.
They steal it all from the back seats. This thing is tight. On paper, it sounds like it's got a fairly roomy back seat. I'm here to tell you, as somebody that's 6 feet tall, it's barely passable for somebody my size, and I would only want to do it for a short period of time. And I don't think, Andrea, you're going to get car seats back there. This is really, you know, empty nesters or a young couple car.
Yeah, for sure. There are much better vehicles in this class for space, one being the Honda HR-V, and even the Toyota Corolla Cross, Kia Seltos, the Taos, the list goes on. This is just not great. Like Zach said, it's not good for a growing family.
If you need more space, do yourself a favor and get the CX-5.
Yeah.
Much better option. All right, the cargo area, same thing. This is in the subcompact class, and they don't give you a ton of that either.
This has got 20.2 cubic feet of cargo space behind the second row. all of its competitors do better than it. So if you're looking for something bigger, I would say go for the CX-5.
All right, we do have that comparison against other vehicles coming up in our Hot Topic after this.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Is touchscreen available on the new model? I think the panoramic roof would have added more beauty to this already beautiful car than the moonroof. No touchscreen offering on this. It's all controlled with the center console dial.
They've gone back and forth on this.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do it, and then they took it away, and then some other vehicles they've added to, like the CX-50, right?
CX-50 has it if you're driving at a low speed.
Like really low, like
really
under like
low.
about 10 kilometers an hour.
But here's the thing. The screen is too far away from the driver for it to be a touchscreen anyway, so Mazda would actually have to bring it closer.
You have to
be
go
a real
all the way
practical
past
touchscreen.
our camera to the screen. That's how
Yeah.
far away it is.
It's really far away. This does not work as a touchscreen at all. I suppose when the car isn't moving and you want to use it as a touchscreen, great. This does not come with one.
And also the CX-50 is the very first Mazda to come with a panel roof. We're hoping it spreads through the rest of the lineup, but if you want one, that's the one you gotta get.
What type of fuel economy has been observed? Is there a hybrid in the works for Mazda?
Well, fuel economy isn't great in this because, first of all, you're talking about a larger displacement engine than most of its competitors at 2.5 liters. Then you throw in the turbo, then you throw in the fun, then you throw in, you want to kick it all the time because you're having a good time. Fuel economy suffers.
Yes, so for me, I mostly have done city driving in this, some highway, and then also always in sport mode because it's just so lively. And if
Back
you're
to
going to
the
have
fun.
a vehicle like this, why aren't you going to drive it that way? I'm not in it for the fuel economy. This gets 10.4 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 22 miles per gallon, and we're averaging 12 liters per 100 kilometers.
Yeah, so it's not getting the official numbers. And then you throw in the winter time, and then you're kicking it all the time. Yeah, you're not buying this for fuel economy.
But you're having fun. We put out a lot of content each week on the Motormouth YouTube channel, and it's super easy to find.
All you do is go to the YouTube search bar and type in the name of the channel, Motormouth, then the brand you're looking for, in this case, Mazda, then all our videos pop up. It's that easy.
They look great, but they are pricey. This turbo model is pricey. I mean, it's over $37,000 Canadian and over $34,000 in the US. So you kind of think to yourself, do I just get the CX-5? It's only a couple $1,000s more for the first turbo option in the US, but quite a bit more in Canada. You're looking at $45,000 Canadian.
It used to be 39.
Yeah.
Like the difference between this and the turbo version of the CX-5 was only a couple of grand.
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer to get that product. But this, in my opinion, Andrew, we had recently the HR-V, which was the same price. They're top trim. But this, you get a much nicer interior, fantastic engine, no CVT, you get a regular 6-speed automatic transmission, and just way more fun to drive. What you don't get is space.
Yes, the space is the shortfall of this vehicle. But I think for $37,000, you get a lot of value in here with the turbo engine.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Like that it now comes with standard all-wheel drive. Really like the look of it. But does it still lag behind the competition?
The biggest issue is the teeny size. So the back seat is kind of clown car and the cargo space is adequate. So if you want space, this isn't the one you want.
Yeah, especially us just driving the Honda HR-V recently. It is so big in comparison. But what that lacks, this gains with the turbo engine and all the power and the excellent handling.
And Andrea says better handling.
Better handling.
All right, so the features. This is missing some features.
You don't get ventilated front seats and heated rear seats in here, but those kinds of features in this subcompact, non-luxury class, not many have them anyway. Ventilated front seats come with the Volkswagen Taos and also with the Kia Seltos, which also gets heated rear seats. But it's things like a digital driver display that you're seeing in these other vehicles and a panoramic sunroof.
And then the touch screen, that's not available in this either. But there's things that I'm like, this is a personal thing now. The touch screen I don't care about, I want the dial. This is the way I would roll with the sunroof anyway. And the digital instrument cluster, I think they're kind of gimmicky. So I'd be perfectly happy with this. But if I sat in the back, I'd want heated seats.
But people want options. What Zach likes and is okay with, someone else may not. And I think that you will appeal to more people if you offer these types of extra features, Mazda. Now, things like blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert are standard on this, not in the US, one up from the base model. And I like the ground clearance on this, 8 inches.
But you got all that cladding. The fastest growing segment of the auto industry is the subcompact crossover. Lots of competition. Let's get into it.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Kia Seltos with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, 146 horsepower, and an all-wheel drive starting price of just over $25,500.
The Volkswagen Taos with a 1.5 turbo 4-cylinder, 158 horsepower, and a starting price of $29,000.
The Toyota Corolla Cross with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, 169 horsepower, and an all-wheel drive starting price of just over $26,000.
The Honda HR-V with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, 158 horsepower, and an all-wheel drive starting price of $31,000.
So there are 4 subcompact crossovers for you to consider.
Fuel economy, towing capacity, and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The base trim starts at just over $26,000 in Canada, and this Turbo GT top trim is just under $38,000 Canadian. Prices tested, $40,300. There are more trims to choose from in the US. The base trim starts at $22,500, and the top trim is just under $35,000 US.
Here's the fuel economy for the 2.5-liter non-turbo. 9.9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 7.7 on the highway. That's 24 miles per gallon city, 31 miles per gallon highway. For the turbo, it's 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.9 on the highway. That's 22 miles per gallon city, 30 miles per gallon highway. The CX30 can tow up to 1,500 pounds. Mazda offers a warranty of 3 years with unlimited kilometers in Canada or 3 years and 36,000 miles in the United States. Lightning round, 2 things we like to see improved.
I love the fun factor of this CX30 Turbo.
I love all the power.
I would love to see a panel roof offering in here.
I want it, but I'm not going to get it. More space in the back seat.
If you're looking for a subcompact crossover that's a blast to drive, look no further than the CX30 Turbo.
Spendy, but you get your money's worth. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.